So what are you
Gosh.
planning to do differently this year to try to prevent some of those mistakes that you made last year?
I'm investing in Painters Growth.
Awesome. Let's go.
No, but seriously, that's why I went with the program.
Welcome to the Painter Growth Podcast, where we help you scale your painting company in record time. Join us as we explore sales, marketing, hiring, finances, leadership, and more, everything that you need to know to scale and grow your painting business. I hope you enjoy and subscribe.
Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Michael Hickman de la podcast Painter Growth et aujourd'hui on a un nouveau invité, Monsieur Charles Veilleux. Hey, did you guys know I could speak French?
It was awesome.
Mike Hickman here, founder of paintergrowth.com. You listen to the Painter Growth podcast, and we have Charles Veilleux. Veilleux?
Yep.
Charles Old from Quebec, Montreal.
That's Quebec City.
Quebec City. Welcome, man. Stoked to have you here. Charles is the owner and founder of Muskoka, Pro Painters Muskoka, and you're doing a few million a year. And we come from a very similar background, so I think we're gonna have a really good conversation today. We're gonna talk about sales, marketing, getting leads, selling jobs.
That's
good to have you, man. So
yeah, I'm excited.
We recently actually met at the expo just a couple weeks ago in Orlando.
That's right.
So how was that? Was that your first expo? Had you been there before?
Yeah, it was a great show. My experience there was short and sweet. I missed my flight going there, so that was really fun and stressful. But other than that, then it was great meeting a lot of folks from our background, College Pro, and just see a lot of like-minded people. And just the quality of the training, I found a lot of new content that I never explored, so was quite benefit. I loved it.
What's the biggest takeaway that you took as like a multi-7-figure painting business? What did you take away from the expo?
So for me, painting is for right now. I'm running the business, but I want to be outside of the business, being a passive investor and becoming a shareholder. So I could have conversation about valuation, company transfer, how to put in place the people you need to run the business instead of you doing it. So next level where I'm not at yet, but aiming for. So that was really good.
Okay, so I mean that going from your position to the position where you are a advisor or director versus being the general manager, which is where you are right now. What do you feel like are the changes that you need to make in terms of like systems or what have you to actually transition to that role?
There's two things I'm fighting. I'm fighting myself. Number one is being able to delegate and elevate my people has been my challenge personally, where I work to a certain standard and I project that standard on my people, and that's on me to work on, if that makes sense. So where I need to be is I need to put people in place and give them their space to really be able to rise there, and putting the training around each position and defining my expectations around each position as you grow and balancing the rest of the business, and you know what I mean. So yeah, that has been the biggest thing.
What specific activities or tasks are you finding the most challenging to delegate or get off of your plate and release control?
It has been on the production side. So putting a project manager to take on from the sale, and execute and make sure that the profit is there. I live off of Pro Painters, right? It pays my house, pays for my family, all of it. So I'm absolutely dependent on it. So results needs to be there all the time. Otherwise, who's not getting paid at the end? It's me, right?
Yeah.
So that level is hard, but we're getting there. We're on the right track. So that's super exciting.
Okay. What's something, what is one of the challenges that you've had as you've tried to delegate that? Is it just like you don't want to relinquish control because of that fear, or you tried it and there was something that like blew up along the way?
It blew up bad. Last May, I had 2 project manager, good people. They were ready. We hit the ground running. Each had 5 sites to run. There was some kind of training around that. Profitability went from 45 gross to like 20 in 1 month. Output reduced. Everything went south. So obviously, I'm so seasonal in Muskoka where I'm at. I've got 6 months to make my money. On interior, we survive, we break even. So in my biggest month, I don't score my profit nor the output. So I'm starting to panic, right? So I went back in. I took back the role of project manager. I pushed them as job site manager because, and then output increased and profit rise the next month, right? By twice. So
Hmm.
either the training was not right, either the people was not right, or a mix of both. But yeah, that was scary for a second there.
So going back and doing like a post-mortem on it, what do you feel went wrong? What would you do differently next time?
Hmm. I feel like those
We jumped right into
people
it, by the
that,
way. Like we just got right into it, the deep stuff
yeah,
in the first couple of
perfect.
minutes.
Let's do it. I would say that probably training could have been better. Expectations could have been clearer. Their range, I like to define their bac à sable. So your sandbox.
Okay.
So what are your limit? What you can do and can't. So all of this was our first year, first time for me to have project manager in place. So a lot of first time and a lot of learnings there, and ramp up too fast. So from one site to 5 sites, so many things, variables to manage. My territory is so wide. From further point east to west, there's 3 hours, and same from north to south. So there's a lot of time wasted just driving around. So if you're not time management, if it's not high, if you don't know how to prioritize, manage your customers, etc., it can become a lot fast.
And with a territory that size, would it almost make sense to have each crew have its own job site manager, almost manage the production of their own crew,
Absolutely.
and then have an
Absolutely.
operations manager instead of a production manager?
Absolutely. Um, the problem I had, my job site manager were not, I guess, capable or not enough. No, that's not true. I did not train them enough to
Okay.
be that lead. And we're making this lead this year where we're reinvesting way more training on our job site manager. So now it's easier to be a project manager because they're doing so much more, right?
They're moving their equipment, getting paint, being like fairly closing up jobs, fairly self-sufficient.
Job completion form, they bring back the check with a 5-star on Google.
Okay. And are you tying in compensation to the painters and the job site manager around gross margin?
The project manager does, the job site manager and the painters don't. We had a bonus structure on the output per team in the summer, where we try to maximize times on site, if that makes sense. So if they went in overtime, they got more than just the time and a half. They had an extra on the side.
Okay. So you're
So
not
we
doing
try to
piece
put.
rate.
No, we're not doing piece rate, but I'm looking at it.
It's tough in Quebec, isn't it?
We're in Ontario.
Oh, you're in Ontario? Oh, I thought you said you were Quebec City.
I was born and raised in Quebec City, and I moved in
Oh,
Muskoka, Ontario, 3 years ago. 5
yeah, I
years
knew
ago. Sorry.
Muskoka was in Ontario, but I thought you said Quebec City. So, okay. That makes sense. That makes a
I'm
lot of sense. Muskoka County is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Quebec is also huge, but
Yes, it is.
so you're in Ontario, so piece rate is definitely possible. Why haven't you, I mean, coming from the student painting background that you came from, why haven't you made more of an effort to go piece rate by now?
Because if I get to a place where my painter beats the budget consistently, there's more profit doing it on an hourly basis.
For you.
So yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But
Not
I've
for the
not
painter.
been able. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
We do provide very fair compensation, actually above the average, to attract good workers and to keep them. We offer
Mhm.
teeth coverage, eye coverage. Everyone gets a car, gas card, van wrapped. No one used their car to. So we take really good care of our people, and they see that, and they have extra off days, mental sickness. They have off on their birthday. Like we take really good care of our painters, so it's not like I feel bad about it.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I guess I'm just trying to poke holes into why the gross margin took a collapse, right? So it's,
For sure.
unless you do that like full, ask all the hard questions, and you don't want to repeat the same thing.
That's right. Mike, have you seen a lot? So I only see my world, right? You see so many more painters. How many people do piece rate versus hourly like me? And do people find more success in the piece rate?
Not enough do piece rate, and just
Okay.
about every successful business, like I would say 2 to 5 million plus do some form of piece rate.
Yeah.
Almost everyone, not everyone, right? Definitely not everyone, right? Because there's some big union shops and big companies who just go straight hourly. But I found that the vast majority of very successful painting contractors do employ some sort of piece rate system, whether it's complete piece rate or a partial piece rate bonus structure system based on production hours. Just yesterday, I was doing a podcast with John McFarland, and he's out of Michigan. Last year, he did just over 9 million, and his guys are all on a 100% piece rate system.
Nice.
So they can 95% of the time they beat the budget, so they make more than their 25 an hour. But on the off chance that they don't beat the budget, they have a minimum wage that they get like $20 an hour. So they'll never make less than 20, but they can make upwards of like $30, $40 an hour, 50. He said some guys are making 70, 80 on some big commercial projects because they just finished them really quickly. And he has a fixed percent at 31% labor. So no matter what, his labor rate is at 31%. So if they go way over budget, they beat the budget, you still pay that 31%. They get the bonus, but you know that your margin is locked. And then the project manager is incentivized to keep materials low. So then if you can keep materials below 12%, then they can get a bonus up to that 12%.
Got it. Very interesting. What we've done on the project manager side is they get a share of the profit based on the gross profit generated. So they have a target. So our targets is like they get 3% of the gross profit if we're within 45 to 50%. And anyway, we're north of 51%, they get 5% of the gross.
Awesome.
So different way of doing it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as there's some sort of way to incentivize the production manager to push production quickly and push paint costs low down.
That's right. But I guess I need to look at base rate.
Yeah, this season, we're already in March, so May is coming up. As Canadians, we have a short painting season. So what are you planning to do differently this year to try to prevent some of those mistakes that you made last year?
I'm investing in Painters Growth.
Awesome.
No, but seriously, that's why I went with the program, and that's why my project manager William is going on it right now.
Je crois que ça va aider.
Sorry?
Je crois que ça va aider.
Yes, Eddie, got it.
Aider.
You're absolutely right. It will kill it.
Yeah. What else though? Real talk. What else are you planning to do differently, specifically on the production management side to maintain margins?
Yeah. I'm actually looking at piece rate. There was another training there done by, I think, Base Code Marketing, where he was sharing, Austin was sharing his piece rate bonus structure. So that's something that I'm looking at and considering for the spring. So you're just giving me more arguments to proceed with that. On the project management side, we're currently training and going through all our teams, job site manager by job site managers. We create SOPs and checklists and standards, and we're training them to that. So now job site manager will be in contact with the customer. They can call through the office line. They're responsible and their job is completed when the check is in our hands or the payment, job completion form signed, Google review answered, right? It's clear. And we're elevating our expectations with them. And they're rising to this right now. So it's going very well. So the project manager's role is becoming easier on that end.
Awesome.
Yeah. And we implemented drip jobs.
Okay.
So
did you sign up at Expo?
Yeah, actually, we got enrolled, I would say December, January. So before the Expo. So for the management of all sites, visibility over it, paint calculation, budgeting, clear work orders, notes, estimating as well. I'm mostly doing the estimating in the cell. So for the project manager, it doesn't have the biggest impact, but really just on keeping everything tight on the job site and expectation clears. Trip Jobs does that quite effectively.
Mm-hmm. So on the sales side of it, What is
Yeah,
the sales goal, the total production goal for 2024?
it's right there, 3 million.
3 million. And are you the only sales rep, or do you have somebody else?
Currently, I'm the only sales rep. However, I was actually training today, 2 estimators. So they're my information gatherers. So when my schedule is filled, I send them, they do the first contact, I follow up, complete the proposal, close the job. Um, if that goes well and they show the right skill set, I want to train them to become sales representatives. So potentially by the end of the year, there should be another sales rep with me.
Yeah. 3 million is a lot to sell. Like what we find kind of KPIs on average is like an average rep will close like between 800 and a million. A high performing rep will close 1.5, and someone who's absolutely exceptional owner style can close as much as 2 million. But anything more than that, it becomes quite difficult. I mean, your average job size is probably north of 10,000.
Yep, 13,000 actually.
Yeah, so that makes it a little bit easier. And what's your
Yeah,
close
for
rate
sure.
on that?
I'm between 50 and 60%.
60%. So every estimate you go, you book 6K, 6,500.
Yeah, every other. Yeah, every other. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did the 300 estimates last year, so we do have a high volume. So just all of that put together brings where we're at.
Yeah. I mean, to take your business to the next level, to get to where you are more director style, yeah, you do need to get out of estimating and out of production completely. I held on to sales as long as I could when I was painting, because that was like, I loved it and I enjoyed it, like the connection.
The
But
great.
there's the business needs more than an ego, right? And sales isn't that hard. Selling paint jobs is not that hard, right?
Once you know your stuff, it's and you're
Yeah.
assertive and show some confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool if you'd actually pushed on that and did that sooner and got out of estimates, by the start of the summer. I think that would make your life a lot easier.
Yeah, that's how can I say? That's not the plan. I gotta invest in my production, and I know I
Mhm.
can go close that 3 million this year.
Yeah,
Um, almost by myself, so that's part of the business plan. But once the production is solid and I've got people that I can just here's the site, handle it type of thing, then I'll have more time to focus on training someone on sales side because again, high expectations. There's a lot of training that will go into it. So
yeah. I mean, that's 400, and if you 50% close rate, that's 461 estimates at 13,000 average job size. So 461 at 200 days in a year. That's 2.5 estimates a day, every business day of the year.
yeah, I did 12 this year. So
Let's go.
yeah,
Let's
12
go.
this week. Sorry.
So that's a
That's
lot of
it.
estimates, right? That's a lot of estimates. That's a lot of leads. Let's talk about marketing. Where are you getting all
Yeah.
your leads from?
So I've got a strong marketing background. We're using a marketing mix strategy from traditional to passive and digital. So different avenues we have, the different marketing initiatives we have are fleet graphics. So I own 10 vehicles. They're all fully wrapped, bright orange. You can see me from space. I'm not even kidding. And that was the goal when I launched the company. It's like no one knows me. I'm coming from nowhere, but everyone will see me and ask the question, "Who is this?" And quite frankly, I'm showing two estimates. People are like, "Are you the orange car?" And it really works. So fleet graphics, powerful, creates a lot of impression. And I got a, I had my van parked there. Funny story. I had a van parked there. The guy has a rich cottage, saw the van, went to the estimates. It's $100,000 job. That paid for all my fleet graphics for the year. So it just takes that one person to see you, but it really works.
Okay. And so, how do you? I mean, so other than the fleet graphics, like what is the
Yeah,
other lead
mail
generation
drops.
tactic you guys use? Mail drops. What's your
Yeah.
math on that? On mail drops, what do you account for? Do you have data on it?
Yes, I do. For every dollar invested, it generated me about $7.
Okay.
So I invested about $25,000 last year. Sent about 100,000 flyers in my demographic, in my turf there. We're also using yard signs, obviously every job site and everywhere on the turf as we move.
You do, like on boulevards and busy streets and things like that.
Not busy streets actually, because it's not permitted. We'll try to do we'll do it on the side roads or the cottage road where it's less populated, but
Yeah.
we're hitting people right before they're hitting their cottage.
Yeah.
Google SEM, so Google Ads, that's a big one for us. About 50% of our marketing comes from there.
With base coat?
No, in-house.
In-house?
I have I have someone out of Algeria that works with me and
Awesome.
takes care of my SEO as well. Yeah, it's so much cheaper. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
You just have to
And
find
they
the
can
right
spend a
person.
lot more time with you too.
She's full-time.
Yeah.
Can I share how much?
Yeah.
She $600 per month full-time.
Canadian?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy. Yeah.
that's not even like, yeah, anyway, it's hard to compare. And very good quality people. You just have to find them. We also use lead aggregate, so bark.com, Homestar, House. Didn't like
What have you
Homestar and
found the return
House.
on investment there?
I actually got out of Homestar and House this year, but we started with it. I would say for every dollar invested, you get your dollar back. So it's not terrible, but it's definitely not great. Magazines. We've been
Okay.
in Lakeside. So what's really cool is they're actually dock dropped. So only to cottage facing lakes. So we only hit people with more money. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So that's kind of cool. So magazine have worked. We've been to two magazine there. Trade show. We do Cottage Life show here, and you should see us looking for painters, looking for painters. We go in the aisle and we go after people. It works. We got $250,000 of business last year through that, right?
Wow. What's the? Let's pause on that for a quick second. What's the like? What does your booth look like? What's your offer? What's the draw? Like, how do you book? I mean, obviously, again, big average job size, so that helps, but that's still incredible. What does the trade show look like?
Okay, so full pop-up banner. Our design always looks great. You gotta look great. First impression matters. So we pay a lot for design, but it always pays back. So we look good. Pop-up banner, coupled realization of big cottages we've done, people in uniforms wearing the logo, side banners as well, 10 by 10 booths. So nothing big, nothing fancy. We look good. We're orange. We have a tablecloth. We have a contest going on, $5,000 off your paint job if you book a free estimates on us during the trade show. So it's just like every time I get out of there with 25 appointments booked.
$5,000 off your paint job for one winner if they book a estimate. So everyone who books an estimate while on the spot, they get entered in that draw.
Yep.
That's so funny. I did almost the exact same thing at my trade show like 10 years ago. I think I might have done $2,500 off, but yeah, pretty much that. I find that the giveaway, you can't give away like a TV or give away something like that. You got to give away something that is relevant to the buyer. What are they already buying? What do they want to buy? And there's a paint job. Give them a discount on a paint job. And 5,000, like your cost on that is going to be 2,500, maybe.
Yeah. And Sherwin is giving me the paint because I put their logo at the bottom up there.
Yeah. So now you're 2,000. Yeah, I remember I did this charity project this one time. And we painted the like a rink. A lot of Americans in the South won't know what this is, but behind schoolyards, we have rinks. So we have wooden fence boards like in a circle and an oval, and it's in the wintertime you fill it up with water and it freezes and you can skate on it. It's a skating rink. So all the boards were all like graffitied and old and peeling, and they called me to give it a quote. And so I'm like, hey, well, I'll do it for free. Quoted it was gonna be like for $8,000, lots of scraping. Anyway, said I was gonna do it for free before I figured it out, and then and then I ended up getting the paint donated by Sherwin, and I got all of my painters plus like 6 friends to come donate a day of their time on the weekend, and we got it done in a day. We got like 4 sprayers going, everyone's scraping, got burgers, and then I gave everyone like a letter of recommendation for volunteer hours, and everyone was happy.
That's awesome. And that's a nasty job though, scraping boards, I can only imagine.
Yeah, it wasn't the most fun, but it looked great after. And we had the
No
news
doubt.
crew out and like got on a couple of news channels. So it
That's
was,
pretty cool.
yeah, it's worth it. So 5,000
Nice.
off a paint job, you booked 25 estimates. Do you find quality at all an issue on those estimates that people book, or like you typically book a ton of that anyway?
The quality is through the roof because I'm there, right? They see me. First contact, build trust. I'm the one going estimate. Oh wow, okay. So there's a really high rapport, and no closing rate is higher actually. Yeah, no quality is really high because if
Yeah.
people are not interested, they won't book, right? They don't want to spend their time drive to their cottage 2 hour north to just meet you and talk about their paint jobs.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So
I'd love to see what your booth looks like one time, because that's I
uh,
mean, that's great.
actually,
That's
next
great.
week is our trade show again, so I'll
Oh,
send you a
perfect.
picture.
Okay, yeah, you do that. You do that. Send a picture in our Slack group.
Cool.
All right.
Um,
So, and then throughout the year, so you're doing more flyers, you're doing more signs. Because you're more
yeah,
like cabins, you can't really do door to door very well, right? That doesn't really work like door knocking.
0. It could. I've just been able. Because of how much I want to grow, I feel like working with passive means works better for me, and it has so far. But door to door, that's how I started with College Pro. Or was running a crew of 10 door to door at some point, and do it. Just being burned by it. I'm tired of door to door, so I'd rather do it another way, a more
Yeah.
lazy way.
Yeah. More expensive over
Well,
the long run, but more lazy.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. We do SEO as well, blog content, 1 or twice per month. We'll also do social media. We've not been able to crack the Facebook ad world or the social media world yet. So we'll work with Base Code there to see if he can run his magic.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Okay. And in general, sounds like I mean, lead conversion and sales rate has been good. So, run me through what the sales process that you have right now, from when a lead comes in to you showing up at their door. Like, what happens between that to like maximize that lead quality until the estimate?
hmm so our process, easy booking, number one. So you can call right now, someone in Philippines will answer, good English, books you on the spot, qualification process. We have a couple of questions. We don't do everything. We have large crews, so we filter the leads. So when I go out, it's worth it.
Okay.
Um, you can also do it online. So a couple of clicks, you can book directly in my calendar. So very easy there and very convenient. Um, and third access that we actually just launched last week that I'm super excited about. Um, we have now a free calculator online for kitchen cabinet refinishing. So you can get a full quote, 3-tier pricing plan, book with our crew. You won't even talk to me.
Wow. And have you had people actually go through and book with it?
I've got and no booking yet, but I've got 2 submission for quotes this week. So I'm like vibrating. I'm just waiting for the first close. You know what I mean?
The first automated passive income close.
That's it. It's a game changer for me. 50% of my time goes selling out. I did 60,000 kilometers on the road last year alone. So if I
Wow.
can just close less and have the software do it for me, it will pay itself.
Yep. That's a lot of Painter Growth podcast time.
It is. We'll finish your show very quickly.
Yeah. So then the sales.
Anyways,
So you're closing at
yeah.
50, 60%. What's your sales process like?
So after this, goes into the calendar. We have a sales funnels. We have email campaign to warm up the lead, if that makes sense. So, hey, think about this. Hey, here's what we've done in the past. Confirmation automated by text and email. So we know that people will show up. Then I'll arrive on site. Love arriving 3 minutes late. Call them, be like, hey, I'm going to be 3 minutes late. They love that. Because in our territory, no one shows up on time and no one's communicate. So by the first 3 minutes, I've shown the total opposite. So do that. I arrive.
It's so funny.
I
That's one of
always
the
love it. It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
I recommend it. Be late all the time.
But tell them you're gonna be late.
That's it. That's the the nuance. So arrive on site. I'll have a magazine. Our owns, the people we publish with, they give it for free. Put my business card where we're advertised. Double spread. I open it. Hey, we've been advertised. Tells you more about my company. Shows our teams. Shows our past project. Right out the bat, they're like, "Oh, he's giving me something for free," which, from a psychology standpoint, now they owe me something, right? Because they've
Yeah.
been given something.
You give them a
So that's
copy of the magazine that you advertise in.
that's
Very
it.
cool.
Uh,
Yeah.
and
Instead of like
it's a good looking. Sorry.
instead of like the client manual, like traditional client manual, before and after pictures, this is a little bit different, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and it's a good magazine. Like it's actually a good looking magazine, so people go through it and they appreciate it. So there's that. Um, then we'll go through the sales process. So very similar college pro style process. So ask the question, walk around. We do everything on site. People get their price within the same hour, so they can make a decision on the spot, right?
Okay.
Um, I love drip jobs for their client interface. Feedback is awesome. During the estimate, when I'm doing my calculation, build the proposal, I'll have the client manual. So there's an introduction for my team, certification, awards we've won, ton of projects. They can scan QR codes for on each page, brings them to the video of the project transformation. So kind of cool. So yeah, by the end of it, and I'll also have a sales sheets for each product we'll be using that I leave
Okay.
behind. And that comes from Sherwin. So it's like duration, and there's my logo on top and phone number.
I
So
showed
it's
him that
just like
photos. He's so proud of them. I'm like, all right.
they look great. Like they
Wow.
work. Yeah. So they get a magazine, they get the client manual, like take it back at the end, they get the sales sheets. At the end, people are like, gosh, they like no problem with trust. They know we will execute well. We charge higher for
You're
that.
geared up
There's a
too with
value for
like
it.
on brand gear, always branded up.
Always, always, always. I was estimating today. Yeah, and also everything is sponsored also by Sherwin.
Perfect.
So we look good, right? And people trust us by the end of the process. And no one quotes on site like that in Muskoka. So they're like, "Wow, you really know your stuff to be able to do that within 30 minutes of arriving here." And part of this, also, we offer a free complimentary design consultation. It's all virtual. So it's like the full on experience to make their life easy. Kick back, we'll take care of the rest.
Hmm. And then what do you use? I know you said you just moved to Drip Jobs, but like previously, what did you use to actually like display the presentation, the quote? Like, how did you give them the quote? Was it printed out in your truck, or was it on an iPad?
We're paperless. I used Wix. So Wix is a CRM as well. It's a website post, but also they're
CRM?
building a strong
Okay, I
CRM.
didn't know that.
Yep, yep. And they're launching a cool stuff actually. So I would send a call directly by email. I had my Surface. I would go through the details with them. Yeah.
Perfect. And
Mm.
pricing, you had your own pricing calculator that you used?
Yes. To
Yeah.
be honest, we're still working with something very similar to College Pro, just
Yeah.
revamped Pro Painters Muskoka.
Yeah, a little bit more nuance to it.
Correct.
So
Correct.
out of your, I mean, in your sales process, do you feel like there's any opportunities for improvement for next year? For this year?
There's always opportunity. I really want to push the virtual stuff more for
Mhm.
exterior and interior. I don't know how to do it yet. That's why I'm testing it with kitchen cabinet because it's very simple to calculate kitchen cabinet pricing. Um, I feel like my customer journey also from an email standpoint can be revamped, and also on the follow-up sides. So right now I'm the only one doing follow-ups, and that's a big issue. I've got like 35 follow-ups to do right now. I truly believe in follow-ups. I'll do them until someone tells me no. And that's something like a lot of follow-ups, like sometimes it converts on the seventh follow-up. So it's a lot, but it works. So hold on until the end. Um, so yeah, follow-ups, emails, I would like to rewrite that and rework that.
I think there's a big opportunity for virtual estimates, especially with how big your territory is, to like do more just like complete estimates virtual. So I don't know if you met like Eric Foz from Pathfinder. marketing. He has a painting company too. He does all of his estimates. He actually has another estimator, but he was doing all of his estimates and he did them all virtually. And he's closing like 30-40% through Zoom.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So exteriors,
That's
you
crazy.
can just go on Google Maps and you can measure it out. And you can get good pictures, and you have the client go around and show you on Zoom and take measurements, and then you just go through the same sales process on Zoom. It's like, hey, I'm going to go do my numbers. I'm going to call you back in 30 minutes. You call them back. Presentation, share screen. All right. Here's how much. How would you guys like to handle it?
That's I
Process.
love it. I love it from a time standpoint and mileage and gas and like
Environmental.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. The amount that you can do in one day too, like you're in and out, in and out, in and out. You can probably double the amount of estimates you do per day.
Can I pause you for a second? So I guess other than your time, I mean, if you can use something like a virtual estimate to like optimize your time, like what are the other risks that you see this year as like potential big challenges of preventing you from hitting 3 million?
Um, for me, the biggest thing is capacity, right? Delivering $3 million of paint. I do 2/3 of my revenue in 6 months. So if if we lose people, if people get sick, we do work. I would say about 50% of my capacity in the summer comes from subs. So if my subs are not reliable, if they fall through, if they fall short, all of that is a big risk because the market is there. It has never been a problem of booking in Muskoka. It has always been a problem of delivering on our promises. Not because we don't do quality, more on the gosh, there's so much to produce. Yeah.
And I guess like on that, which is why we started this discussion around production management and having good production managers, and that being the big risk this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you seen a lot of painting company having a mixed strategy with subs and employees, or do you see people are all employees or all subs? What have you seen?
I think for a business like yours, having a mix would be the best, right? Where you have like a base amount of production that you can do that's just like your like standard load, and then you have like some peak power plants, some like some peaker plants as in subs to come in when it gets busy. So if you had like, 6 to 8 painters that were just year round doing like, 1.4 kind of thing is just your base load, and then you bring on like another 6 to 8 during the summer to double up that production during those 4 or 5 months, I think that would probably be best. Alternatively, rather than subs, you could go for like that, that summer worker model too for
Mhm.
this summer. I'm sure you've done that before, but like summer
Yeah.
workers spend a lot of time upfront training, but getting ultimately cheaper labor who can be reliable, very
And they
loyal,
want to learn. Yes.
loyal. Like
Okay.
if you teach them and you give them skills, you will earn their loyalty.
Got
You
it.
don't get that from subs.
Yeah. No. No. No.
But again, that
We
takes a lot more time training up front, right? You're spending a lot more hours like giving them the skills that they need. But exterior painting a cabin isn't difficult. It's not rocket science. It's not like you're doing advanced coatings or high gloss finish or anything.
That's right. That's right. I don't know if people have found that last year recruiting for painters was so hard. We went through 67 applicants, retained 5, and out of the 5, 2 are still with us now. Like the conversion rate from applicants to actually painter that stays very, very low. And we've hiring or training, but then we did that for 6 weeks, and after that, who was left? So we had to restart. That was really hard last year.
So
But
the number actually that just stuck out there to me is 67 to 2, right? So that's like 33 to 1. 33 applicants for one full-time reliable long-term employee. That doesn't
Mhm.
seem that bad. Maybe it's a little bit high. Maybe you want it closer to like 25, but like that seems decent. It's just it's a
Okay.
lot of crap you got to go through, but like it's 33 applicants for one full-time long-term employee. If you look at it that way, it feels like a lot when you're doing it. So maybe having like a better system to go through applications in a more streamlined way and get like application videos or more thorough application forms so that you don't have to do all of those interviews to save time. Like that might make it easier.
Mhm.
But I think the ratio isn't terrible.
Okay, that's good having an outside perspective. When you're in it, I have Myra works with me out of the Philippines, and she's head of HR, and she takes care of that. Thank God. But yeah, no, it seemed like a lot, but
Yeah.
good to know that it might not be that off.
Yeah, what we do is like application, whether it's through Indeed or Kijiji or Craigslist or whatever, to a Google form. They fill out the Google form. It has qualitative and quantitative, and then after that, you either qualify them for like a setup call, right? Basically, a qualification call. From there, if they pass the qualification call, then in-person interview or virtual interview, depending on your setup, and then second interview offer, training, trial 2 weeks.
Got it. I like your idea of the screening questionnaire, because if you make it just a little bit painfully long, you'll filter out people, but you also keep the people that are really good at it, and you can even test their skill sets and their competence. So no, it's a good idea.
Yeah, Tanner has a hiring form, and his form is actually a lot longer than mine.
Okay.
But I am just going to show you like if I can find it here. So it really isn't that long. And for anyone listening in, I'm just going to share my screen and show you what the form looks like. And so it's really not that many questions, but there's a few specific things. So this was one for someone hiring some commercial painters,
Mhm.
and we have email, full name, cell phone number. How many years have you painted for? Never painted professionally, all the way to 10 plus years. Do you have your own tools? Do you have your own transportation? And in this, do you have your own transportation? I'm like a little bit tricky with my wording. Yes, I have a truck. Yes, I have a car. Yes, I can easily bus or catch rides where I need to go.
Love it.
No, I need a ride, but I have a valid driver's license. No, I would need a ride. Do not have a license. So it's like,
That's-
that's obviously very important. You
yeah.
want people to not have to bus.
Yeah.
When can you start? And then the qualitative, please explain from start to finish your full process for painting a bedroom.
Nice.
So just like and you can change that question depending on the type of person that you're looking to hire. Like explain how to set up a sprayer, or like explain the difference between these two types of tips. And then, or like in this situation, what type of tip would you use? Check
Got
all
it.
that apply. Evenings, nights, out of town, worked on commercial, WMIS, reading blueprints. And then another one, long answer text. Why do you feel like you'd be a good addition to our team? Please explain why we should consider your application from all the others to join our team. And then you just get the applications, and then you can start going through them. And you get some of them. I love ponies. I'm creative, responsible, perfectionist person. Consider myself. So you can actually look at their qualitative aspects, and then decide if you want to give them a call. So that
I,
just saves
I'm
you a
a,
ton of time.
I bet I would hire the guy with the bonies, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, or like you said, it's all about optimization. And it's like optimizing your time. Because like as an entrepreneur, we're so busy all the time that like whenever you get something off of your plate, something else is going to come in and fill it. And so your ability to delegate more and more complex tasks is really that's your ability to grow your business, is how well you can delegate harder and harder things.
That's right. That's right. That's where my sling is at with my project managers. So figuring that one out.
Yeah. Hey, we have a mastermind coming up in Minneapolis. You should come. It'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll tell you about that. I'll tell you about that offline.
Sounds
But
good.
yeah, we got Nick Slavic coming. We got Jason Paris coming. It's in April in Minneapolis, so it's gonna be pretty fun.
Yes, I saw that. Awesome. Awesome. Can you share that recruitment process, the recruitment questionnaire?
Yeah, it's on the training. You already got it. It's in the hiring training.
Perfect.
Jump
Thank you.
in. Yeah. So what like for you, like over the next, let's just finish off with like over the next 30 days, what is like the biggest priority that you have to get done by April 14th? Like what needs to get done for you in order for you to maximize your ability to close out 2024 strong?
Two things. Um, we are going hard into the training of my job site manager right now. We're halfway through it. There's still two more team to do. We're dedicating about 30 hours per team to walk them through the entire process, set expectations. So that's obviously very time consuming. And it's hard grinding, getting the leads, going out to do the estimates. We're in that clutch moment. I don't know what's happening, if it's global warming or what. There's no more snow here in Muskoka. I feel like the spring is going to be probably 2 to 4 weeks early.
Wow.
And like
It's
since
good for
last
you.
Friday. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, well, let's go. But I was not that I was ready, but I did not anticipate it since last Friday. Like I had 6 estimate last week and double, and I've not changed anything marketing wise on my front. And now we're doing 12 estimates. So and next week is the trade show. We are about to send our flyers. Like we're about to activate our marketing initiatives. And there's already a big influx. So I'm like, okay,
That's good. Good signs. You got to really figure out the production thing, which is why you're focusing on that right now.
Yeah. But good thing is we filtered out the bad apples. So now we're more consistently on budget. 5 stars on Google. Profit is better. Customers are happier. So my project manager is slowly ramping up and showing more of the right qualities. So again, we're heading in the right directions.
Awesome. Well, hey man, I'm stoked. I'm stoked to see you and actually support you, be part of your story this year. And I feel like if you can just execute on your plan, 3 million is gonna be in the books.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Sweet. Well, merci beaucoup. Thanks for coming on today.
Merci. Absolutely. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. Until next time.
Yes, sir. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. If you want to grow your painting business, go to www.paintergrowth.com or click on the top link in the description. Talk soon.